Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got another one for you already. This one I've never done before because it's for somebody else. It's actually not for me or the kids. This is for another kid that asked me to build it for him because his blew up. Today we're going to be doing a stand-up Goped with a custom motor and a custom wheel job. Check it out. Okay, so this one's already completed. It was a quick project. It needed to be done for this kid. So I just want to show you what I did. So if you guys ever want to do something similar, you can. Now it looks kind of weird, as everybody can see. But that wheel that you guys see right there is off of one of those scooters. Remember the ones I used to build, the electrical one, the one my daughter had. That's a spare part one. So I took the wheel off of that and had the sprocket and put this motor attached to it. And the original front wheel is there too on this Goped. Now, I'm going to walk you through what I did so that way you can see what I did, change it up a little bit, do the exact same thing. I don't really care, but I'm letting you know what I did, what works. That way, you want to build something like this, go right ahead. Okay, we're going to start with the rear real quick. Like I said, that wheel is off of there. You could see this little cylinder thing or round thing. That's from the drum brake that doesn't exist anymore. And then on this side is the sprocket. The original sprocket that came with the scooter wheel used it. The chain itself is the same. I think it's a T25 chain with the motor, which I bought off of Amazon. I will link the link for the motor in the description below. It came with a bunch of stuff. Now the reason I went with this motor rather than like one of those little 50cc ones that I had on the pit bike is because the gas tank is mounted to the top. Now on a Goped, the motor's on one side and the gas tank's on another, and it, siphons the gas into the carburetor. Problem is, I don't have another place to mount the motor and gas tank, and it was kind of a pain in the ass. So I was like, screw it. I was going to get a 50cc motor with a gas tank mounted on top, which is exactly what it is, and it works great, by the way. Pull start, obviously. The original sprocket, it's a little tiny guy, little tiny one, but it works, and it works great. Comes with two different clutches. Don't need them. It came with the one on it already, and it works just fine. The exhaust comes out the bottom to the right. Right there. That is so cool because it mounts up perfectly, and the exhaust blows away from you as you're riding. So it works out perfect. Now, I need to put a kickstand on it because I don't have one because it is really weighted to the right a little bit, obviously, because the motor is mounted. So, next up, then I'm going to go over is the kill switch. Now, it does have a kill switch. It comes with two little bullet connectors that are in here. As you can see, they're not bullet anymore because I rewired it. So, inside are two wires that come out, two bullet connectors. I cut those, rewired it, ran the wire all the way around the engine, all the way up to a kill switch. Just like that. That's how you kill the motor. Because otherwise you're going to have to like touch it and ground it out with the original wires, and that would be stupid. So I didn't do that. Next up would be the throttle. Remember, this is going to be a quick video, guys. Throttle, okay? Just a normal throttle that you can get on any motorcycle or whatever, okay? It's just a twist. No big deal. Runs through here, runs down here. Problem is, as you guys can see, it's not long enough. Now, the Goped actual throttle cables are like super long because they go all the way underneath up into the mounted right here. Problem is, this doesn't work that way. So I just got one of these, and it kind of just hangs, which is, I mean, whatever, because it's still in there on both sides and you stand on there, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't get in the way. I've already tried it. So then it just runs into the top of the carburetor right there. It's supposed to stay in there. Focus. There you go. It's supposed to stay in there. It just doesn't, because it's not meant to be this long and stretch this thin. So regardless, it still works. I mean, whatever. It's still, there we go. Still works. So And the idle was a pain in the ass to adjust too, by the way, if you guys get one of these motors. Make sure you turn that bitch all the way in. Make sure it's not attached to anything, like the chain or anything like that, because otherwise it's going to go flying. And then just slowly unscrew it to get the idle right, because it took me forever to do it. Make sure you get the fuel mixture right. This is a 2-stroke, gas and oil together. 2-stroke oil. Make sure you do that, otherwise you're going to blow your motor. Carburetors, no big deal. Now, the hardest part I had was, how do I get this rear wheel mounted onto a Goped that literally just has this bar and then the wheel went in here. The original stock wheel that looks like the front wheel went in here. And it was shaft drive, and it would spin the shaft, which would turn the wheel by rubbing on it. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that work. So I cut the rear end off of that, as you can see, which has the 2 bars coming out the bottom here. So you got 2 here, and then just an extra bar there coming down. And what I did is I put those bars here, as you can see, they're mounted to the wheel, perfectly spaced, and then cut that extra bar I just showed you all the way across and welded this nice big 3/4 of a square bracket. And then I cut the top of here, because this was solid, cut the top of here, set the bar in, and then just welded the hell out of this thing, because I needed it to hold my big ass, then it will hold this kid's ass. So weld all over the place, put an extra bar in here, welded here, weld. Crazy amounts of welding, because it has to be able to hold. If it breaks, I'm going to be in trouble. So weld all the way around. Now, the other way that you guys can do this, I didn't do it, is you could put a spring. There's a spring that you can mount to here, underneath here. So as you go, as you guys have seen, like, the things will actually just flex. The rear. Yeah, I didn't do that. I just welded it. And it works just fine. It just doesn't have any suspension. That's all. No big deal. And then half-ass painted it just because, I didn't want to get paint on everything else. And I wasn't going to weld over paint. So the chain actually works pretty good. This little chain guard, believe it or not, helps out significantly because the chain doesn't come off, because it just sits inside this little area here. Best part about these, rather than that pit bike, is I can slide the wheel back and then tighten it to tighten the chain. And as you can see, there's just the perfect amount of flex in this chain. Just the perfect one. And the motor moves a little bit. So once you get the chain completely seated on the sprocket, I grabbed my crowbar, put it in there, and just went clink, yanked it back, held it, tightened the bolts. Now the chain's perfectly tight. Perfect tension. Just enough play. Now, how I got the motor mounted, this is the hardest part. I took a plate and bolted it to the bottom side of this. I would show you, I just don't want to leak gas everywhere. Okay, as you can see, there's a plate mounted. Come on. There, right there. See that? It's a plate mounted to the bottom of the engine, and then on the back side, it continues to go out like that. And then I welded it to the frame of the Goped right there. That's a lot of welding right there. That is a lot of metal. Metal on metal, top and bottom around the sides. That is the only thing holding this motor on. There is no plate from back here to under here to up here, nothing. It is literally that is holding the motor up. Because the plate goes out and it's mounted to the motor, and then it runs out and welded. Don't push on that, or it will bust or bend, or even worse, just fall off. Don't do that. Just, this works for now because the motor doesn't weigh that much, but at least it holds it as you're riding and bouncing along, and it helps move the chain so it's not perfectly tight and rips the motor off. It actually gives the motor a little bit of flex, which is perfect. So the motor barely moves when I ride, but it moves just enough to where it can flex where it needs to. Okay. I think that's pretty much it, guys. It wasn't a hard build. It was just a pain in the ass to get that bar back there and get it mounted the way I needed to get it mounted. But people say it looks funky. I think it looks badass. It looks like it's like, business in the front and party in the back, almost like a mullet. So the original grip on this side, the original brake, it's just a front brake. It's nothing special. And then, like I said, aftermarket kill switch, and then aftermarket throttle, which works really good. And I weigh well over 200 pounds, and this thing hauled me down the road at like 19 miles an hour. So if you give it a little scooter thing to get going, and then you just punch it, it'll hold you. It'll go pretty damn good. So yeah, quick video. Literally not like one of my 20-minute videos. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is possible. I have not seen this on YouTube at all. Not once. So I wanted to give you guys a quick peek at it. If you want to do something like this and you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I always respond to my comments because I get it. When you're in the garage, you're frustrated, you're throwing tools, you go inside and you can't figure out what the hell the problem is. Been there, done that. I understand. So I can start it up for you guys just so you can see it, and then you can see it move, just so you know I'm not full of shit. Here, let's actually start it up. Whoever made these kill switches is kind of an idiot. This means on and off. On means it's supposed to be the engine's on and then you turn it off. That's actually not how it's wired. It's wired backwards. So just remember, if you get one of these and people complain that it's backwards, just be like, the kill switch is off. The kill switch is on. That's how I remember. Kill switch is off, which means the motor will run. And then as of right now, I've been letting it sit not too long. So it's probably gonna need... Okay. So I'm gonna lift it off the ground so you can see as it dies. I'm trying to get this idle correct. Hold on. There we go. Woohoo! As you can see, it's a perfect amount of tension. A little slow, 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 really fast. Another thing I did, I hit the kill switch. See, not bullshitting. The other thing I did too, which I thought was kind of clever, was I put, you know how the sprocket actually rotates without the tire? So as I go forward like the scooters, the sprocket doesn't rotate. So you can hit the gas really fast, let off the gas, the motor clutch will just stop, and then it won't slow you down. It'll just let you keep going. So it's kind of like you can roll it without the sprocket rolling, but if you go backwards, obviously it locks it into place. So it's kind of nice to have that feature too. Most of the electrical scooters have it, and I just wanted to keep it. So anyway, guys, leave a comment down below, whatever you guys want to do. Like, subscribe if you want. Liking, I don't understand because I don't make money off of this. So if you want to subscribe to see more of my stuff, go ahead. You know, if not, if this is your first time, welcome. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.